the settlement cannot be on Nnamdi Kanu's terms, that the government would have to give some conditions that Kanu has to agree, for example, to give up armed struggle against his country. Kanu has to stop doing anything that is treasonable or encouraging people to take to violence. And I'm convinced that if Kanu will agree to give up armed struggle against his fatherland, then there is nothing wrong in looking for an out-of-court settlement on this matter.
Welcome and welcome back, my people. Thank you so much for stopping by. I hope you guys are doing well. My people, that in this video, I would love you guys to watch. Like, no matter how these people try to hide, like the hatred they have towards Igbos, like one way or the other, it will show, honestly. So this man here, analyzing the outcome of the court case Nnamdi Kanu attended last time, which is federal government and the Nnamdi Kanu need to negotiate in order to solve this matter, in order to let Nnamdi Kanu go. So according to this man here, he said that he believes that it is federal government that are going to give Nnamdi Kanu condition, that is not Nnamdi Kanu that's going to give federal government condition. Like the first condition that he believed that federal government is going to give Nnamdi Kanu before they let him go is that Nnamdi Kanu need to agree or promise them that he is going to give up the agitation of Biafra. Yes, so Biafra freedom. That is going to give up the struggle for Biafra freedom. So just as I said the other day, that the most important thing right now is Nnamdi Kanu to come out from that DSS custody, for Nnamdi Kanu to be a free man. That's the most important thing. Hasina iha gonna eme be right. So that is what we're supposed to be praying right now. And as well as all these people that are analyzing about Nnamdi Kanu, they're not even talking about, okay, if Nnamdi Kanu come out, let Nnamdi Kanu, have this round table with federal government. And Nnamdi Kanu will not tell them, what brought about this Biafra agitation. If there's any way, Nigerian government will amend their way and other things. But they're not talking about it. So they just want to bring in Nnamdi Kanu and then tell him to shut up. Like, how is it going to work? My people, just as I said before, that the most important thing and what we're supposed to be praying now is Nnamdi Kanu to come out from that detention and be a free man. So let me allow you guys to watch this particular video in full and hear what this man said here, my people. But before then, please, if today is your first time here, don't forget to share the video so that other people will get the opportunity to watch as well, and also subscribe for more updates, my people. So let's go ahead and watch the video and I will be right back.
There are those who think that I do not like the Southeast. I do not like our friends from the Southeast. But I would say there is no Nigerian on TV. There is no Nigerian on TV who has consistently demanded that there should be a negotiated settlement in the conflict between Nnamdi Kanu and the federal government. I have always demanded for that. I've been very consistent. And I'm very sure that no Nigerian journalist on TV has demanded as much as I've done that Nnamdi Kanu that the federal government should negotiate with Nnamdi Kanu with a view to freeing him. But I've also said repeatedly that the settlement cannot be on Nnamdi Kanu's terms, that the government would have to give some conditions that Kanu has to agree, for example, to give up armed struggle against his country. Kanu has to stop doing anything that is treasonable or encouraging people to take to violence. And I'm convinced that if Kanu will agree to give up armed struggle against his fatherland, then there is nothing wrong in looking for an out-of-court settlement on this matter. I have consistently demanded for that. And I also said recently, when Nnamdi Kanu granted an interview in court, where he was saying that if he was released, the minute he's released, the violence in the southwest will stop. That is because he's in detention, that some little fries are running around instigating violence and causing the deaths of people. I said at that time that this indicated that Kanu was gradually softening up his position, that Kanu was gradually showing signs of someone prepared to give up his struggle in exchange for peace. Because he spoke that day, and when he said that subversive actions against the government were being carried out by some people, all because he was not around, I almost didn't believe that it was Nnamdi Kanu that was talking. At that point, I felt, look, this is a clear sign that Kanu's position had changed. He is no longer the stoic, tough-talking, and avant-garde secessionist campaigner that we had become accustomed to. I also said that following from what Nnamdi Kanu did when Senator Ifeanyi Ubah and Eze Chukwuemeka, the traditional ruler of Enugu Aguleri, Ogbugat, which is the Ile-Ife of the southeast, which is the source of the Igbo race. When they visited him in detention, in the DSS detention facility, Nnamdi Kanu agreed to out-of-court settlement. I mean, Nnamdi Kanu agreed not to out-of-court settlement. He agreed to put an end to the sit-at-home that he instituted in the first place. You know, sit-at-home was in response to his arrest and detention. But Nnamdi Kanu put an end to the whole idea of sit-at-home the moment that the moment that Ifeanyi Ubah and Senator Ifeanyi Ubah and Eze Chukwuemeka approached him. He agreed to put an end to sit-at-home in the southeast. Not only that, Nnamdi Kanu also, he put it in writing. He put it in writing in writing so that people will believe that it came from him. That from that moment, there will be no sit-at-home in the southeast. So that was another sign for me that Nnamdi Kanu was prepared for peace, was prepared to give up his struggle in exchange for peace. And I will encourage the government to explore out-of-court settlement with Nnamdi Kanu, because I do not see what benefit will derive ultimately from continuing this trial. And Nnamdi Kanu too has seen clearly that he cannot defeat the Nigerian state. He cannot defeat the Nigerian state in this court battle and even in an armed struggle.
There have been several calls and orders for Nnamdi Kanu's release. You know, for instance, the United Nations had asked the Nigerian government to immediately release Nnamdi Kanu unconditionally and pay him adequate compensations for the arbitrary violation of his fundamental human rights. In fact, several elders, just like you said, you know, from the southeast met with the government of Buhari, but this didn't yield any result. Are there any indications, looking at the current situation, are there any indications that this current administration might do anything different from the Buhari regime regarding Nnamdi Kanu's case?
It's difficult to say with finality because, political leaders are influenced most of the time by people around them. I would want Nnamdi Kanu released with conditions. And if he agrees to those conditions, why not let him go? This is my position. But the way I feel may not be how the National Security Advisor feels. The way I feel may not be how the service chiefs feel. The way I feel may not be how the ministers and some of the kitchen cabinet, members of the kitchen cabinet of the president feel. But I remember vividly that in the course of his campaign in the Southeast, Mr. President promised to explore opportunities for peace between the agitators for Biafra in the Southeast. He said clearly that he will explore a negotiated peace between agitators in this with agitators in the Southeast. I remember clearly. So if the president said that at that time that he would explore amicable or peaceful resolution of the crisis in the Southeast by talking to the agitators, I still think that it's a possibility that the president may be thinking along that line. But between when he was campaigning and now that he's president, perhaps he has seen a few things that may have made him to change his mind. So I can't say at this point that what the president said during the campaign,
that's right,
he will be eager to do it.
That's right.
It may, the security report may point to some dangers involved that could result from him making good that promise. The people around him may be opposed to it, and he may be willing to listen to so because if he releases Nnamdi Kanu and things go wrong and he does not achieve anything from the release, the blowback will be bad, and people will blame him. If things degenerate, people will say, oh, he's taking a very bad decision. But for me, in most conflicts, the protagonists often end up around at a round table where these issues can then be permanently resolved. I've given examples in the past, including even South Africa. The conflict between the ANC and the Nkata Freedom Party, when they were beheading one another, setting one another ablaze. Eventually, the political settlement came and the killings stopped immediately. So these things happen. There are times when you just have to realize that court action may not bring peace.
That's right.
And you can pursue peace through other means. So I don't know whether the president will agree to this. Right. President Buhari was also appealed to by the late Mbazulike Amechi to release Nnamdi Kanu, and he promised him that he will handle the situation, he will ensure that Nnamdi Kanu behaved himself. But President Buhari didn't release Nnamdi Kanu. He said that the trial should continue, that it was not in his hands, that the case was already in court. But we know that even if a case is in court, the president can order the Attorney General of the Federation to go and and terminate the prosecution.
That's
It happens. We saw President President Obasanjo use that power in the past. You know, so
that's right.
If we are talking about political decision, this one is a case that has already been politicized, and a president may decide that, okay, in the interest of harmony, in the interest of peace in the Southeast, let's have this person released. After all, Obafemi was in prison, you know, jailed, accused of treason, and the Gawan regime released him and even made him a minister. So it's possible for the president to.
That's right.
Seeing that Nnamdi Kanu appears to be remorseful now, or be showing signs of remorse.
Yeah.
Take a good look at the matter and say, okay, let's leave this man alone.
That's right.
At 56, a man will feel that, look, age is catching up with him, and that some level of rascality associated with youth is not meant for someone like him. So I really want this opportunity for negotiated settlement to be explored. It is my wish to see that happen.
My people, that is it. Like, some people are just showing who they are on the national television, honestly. According to this man here, he said when Tinubu was campaigning in the Southeast, he promised that he's going to negotiate with Nnamdi Kanu and all the people in the Southeast for Biafra agitations and all that. But he said during that time till this moment that he didn't even know why Tinubu changed his mind. Maybe he sees something or that. Like, oh my God, these people thought that we are just joking, eh? Hey, my people, I hope you guys had everything that he said here. And so I bring this so that you guys can see what other people are talking about the negotiations that are going on between Nnamdi Kanu and the Nigerian government. And also, I would love you guys to just leave your thoughts in the comment section. Like, the first time I listened to this man, I wanted to get angry, but I held myself because he cannot do anything, my people. So please leave your thoughts in the comment section. What do you think about what he said here? Just as I said before, if today is your first time, don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. Thank you, everyone, for sharing my video. I truly, truly appreciate you all. May Almighty God bless you all. Yes, my people, I will see you guys in my next one. Goodbye for now.